Hi, my name is Nicholas. Welcome to this week's yin practice. No real specific plot props for today, but I suggest having a soft block. And when you're ready, we'll get started in a legs up pose. So you can come to lying down on the back, have your prop with you nearby, and we'll send the legs up towards the ceiling. But if you prefer to support the pelvis for this, then you can lift the hips, slide a prop underneath, and then send the legs up from here. Also, the option if you have a big wall space nearby to do legs up the wall instead. So you can send one leg, then the other up towards the ceiling, and find any comfortable expression of this shape. So the legs don't have to be extended. You could even have a deep bend into the knees, especially to begin with. And take your time to set up. Find that place where the ankles can stack roughly on top of the hips in a way that feels somewhat effortless. Hands can stay where they are. If the arms want to join the legs, then go for it. Sending the legs up towards the arms up towards the ceiling as well. And then check in here. If there's a little movement that would help you settle into the shape, then go for it. Whenever you feel ready to, you can start to find your stillness here. Awesome. And you don't have to move until you feel ready to. As you do feel ready, you can bend the knees into the chest, maybe wrap the arms around the shins, give yourself a little rock side to side. If the prop feels comfortable here, then you can keep it. You can get rid of it whenever you feel ready to. We'll set up a happy baby so you can reach between the knees, catch hold of the feet. And feet can point forward or up towards the ceiling. You can also hold the shins or ankles if that feels better. See if you can keep the low back mostly grounded here, stillness or a little rock side to side. As you're ready, gently release the feet down to the floor. And if you need a little windshield wiper here, then go for it. When you're ready, walk the feet roughly underneath the knees and take the hips over to the left a few inches, and then lower the knees down towards the right for a supine twist. Now check in here if you could use a few extra props or anything like that, then go for it. Maybe arms to a T shape, cactus, or arms overhead or on the body somewhere. Notice what the shape feels like. Breathe into whatever you're feeling. For the second half of this pose, if you want to twist a little further up the spine, then take the head just an inch or so over towards the right, and then lower your gaze down towards the left any amount. Bring the head back to center, and then down towards the right hand side, and then roll your way all the way onto that right hand side in a fetal position. And pausing here for a breath or two, you can use that right arm as a pillow. Awesome. You can stay here a little while longer if you need. You can keep using the right arm as it is. If it feels better to prop yourself up a little bit, then go for it. And then reach down for that left foot, and we'll point the left knee down the mat. Start to hug the heel towards the bum, setting up for a quad stretch here. And if the foot's a little far away, you can also use a strap to catch it. Make sure that the left shoulder stays quiet the whole time, and then breathe into whatever you're feeling through the top line of the left leg. Awesome. Gently release the left foot as you're ready. And we'll extend both legs long down the mat now, still lying on your right hand side. And then from here, we'll bend the right elbow and see if you can prop yourself up on it. So right elbow roughly underneath the right shoulder, looking for a side stretch to that right side of the body. So notice there might be a tendency for the hips to tilt back and you might lose that stretch. So see if you can keep the legs stacked. And then let the body get heavy through the right. So imagine that those right ribs are reaching down towards the floor. And again, mindful of the shoulder. If you want to press down a little more to create more stability, then listen to whatever you need here. Awesome. Moving on to the next shape now, we'll take that left leg. You can stay in the side stretch. You can also lower down if you need to. But we'll take that left leg and then step it out in front. Now, this shape may not work for everybody, so if it works for you, then great. If not, then you can always bend the knee. I would just suggest propping it up onto something or maybe a couple blocks if you have them. So whether the leg is extended or the knee is bent, from here, option to bend that bottom knee and then reach with your left hand to catch that foot. Now from here, you can stay up on your side. Another option is to take it into a slight back bend. So for that, you can reach the right arm long and then turn your back onto the floor. Don't worry too much about what angle you're at. And don't worry as well if that left shoulder is hovering. You can prop it if you like, but it doesn't hurt it to hover. So whatever the right arm wants to be doing here. And then notice where you're feeling the stretch the most, and just make sure that your body's happy with what you're feeling. If it feels too intense, then please back out a little bit. Awesome. You can release that right foot when you're ready, and then roll your way back onto the right hand side. Extend the left leg long, and you can pause on your side, or you can come onto the back here. And take the next 5 or so breaths in any counter stretch or counter pose that you need. So choose stillness or movement here. You can windshield wiper, happy baby. Awesome. And when you feel ready, we'll do all that on the second side. So start off by bringing the feet down to the floor, and then scoot the hips over to the right, lowering the knees down to the left. Your version of a twist, and you can mirror whatever you did on the first side, or if this side needs different support or anything like that, then go for it. If you added the next stretch on the first side, then take the head an inch over to the left and lower the gaze down to the right. You head back to center first, then roll all the way down onto your left hand side, pausing in a fetal position. And again, you can use that bottom arm as a pillow here. And then supporting yourself however feels best for your neck. And we'll reach down for that right foot, start to hug the right heel towards the bum, right knee pointing away from you. Awesome. Gently release that right foot when you're ready and extend both legs long down the mat. Stacking your feet here, maybe propping the head. And then we'll set up to find that side stretch for the left hand side. So left forearm can find the floor, and you can bring it as near as you need to find the stretch that you like. So if it feels too intense, maybe elbow a little further. Otherwise, elbow roughly underneath the shoulder. And keeping the hip stacked as best you can. Notice as well if that right hip is slipping back. If you need more support through that left side, if it feels a little uncomfortable, you could add a little blanket or something there. And then when you're ready, you let that left rib cage start to get a little bit heavier, mindful of the left shoulder if you want to stabilize a little more. And then breathe into whatever you're feeling. Awesome. So if you need to move the elbow a little bit for the transition, then go for it. And then when you're ready, we'll take that right foot now and step it out in front. And then see what feels good for this side. It's possible that on one side, having the leg extended worked. Maybe on this side, you want to rest the knee on a cushion instead. That's fine. So just listen to wherever you need to be. And then from here, option to bend that left knee, catch it with the right foot. You can stay up on your side here. You can think about sliding that left arm away and maybe lowering down onto the back. And again, if you need to add a support for that right shoulder, anything like that, find your version of the shape and settle into it. And when the time comes to exit, think about how you'd like to come out of the shape. You can release the left foot. If you're on your side, you can roll down onto the back and then bring the legs back to center. Now see what feels good here. Take the next 5 or so breaths, stillness or movement, maybe windshield wiper, maybe happy baby or something else. And then when you're ready, you can make your way up to a seated position, any way you like to get there. And then we'll set up from here. I'm going to sit up off of a soft block. And we'll set the feet nice and wide apart. So your version of a wide-legged stance. And don't worry too much about what it looks like. Just go by feeling. Maybe you're a little tighter today, or maybe you've been kind of more active and you want something a little more intense. So check in to make sure that the shape feels okay for you. There's always the option to take butterfly legs instead if that feels like a better stretch for today. And you can also choose to stay upright. You can choose to add a bend to the knees, maybe even prop the knees. And then from here, we'll come into a fold. So see what kind of a fold feels best for you. You can start to hinge your way forward. You can start to let the torso get nice and heavy, adding a little more strain to the back. Maybe head gets heavy as well. Any other props you have nearby, if you're looking to lower the elbows and the floor is a little far away, then go for it. And see if you can lengthen as much as you can through that whole back line of the body. So from the tailbone to all the way up to the crown of the head. Always keeping an eye out for any sharp, electric, or otherwise intense kind of sensations or pain that you're feeling. And listen to your body if you need to modify or if you need to come out sooner. Otherwise, be here with your breath. When you feel ready, you can use the breath, you can use the support of the hands to slowly bring yourself back up. And then pause for a moment when you arrive, let the spine settle and see what feels good here. Maybe stillness, a little wiggle, or maybe some gentle twist side to side as a counter stretch. And then when you're ready, you can collect the knees as well, maybe bringing the feet down to the floor, maybe windshield wiper a couple times to release the legs here as well. And then when you're ready, we'll end today with a seated meditation. So if cross-legged works for you, then great. If you'd rather end on the back in Shavasana or something like that, then go for it. And take a moment to settle the hips in, to lengthen the spine, soften the shoulders. The hands can rest wherever feels the most comfortable. Notice where the mind goes if it starts to wander. And see if you can keep your attention to the breath and to the body. And gently deepen your breath here. Invite a little movement through the hands and through the feet. If you are sitting cross-legged, you can switch the cross of your legs to the other side and maybe collect the hands in at the heart. Maybe a bow of the chin in towards the chest. And thank you for sharing your breath and your practice today. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for practice today. And if you have any questions, please reach out. My name is Nicholas, and enjoy the rest of your evening.